Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of yet another Arsenal podcast. I'm Mark and I am here with my regular co-host Richard. Hello, Rich.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Now, I don't know about you, but I've looked across the media landscape in recent weeks and thought to myself, do you know what people are not talking about enough?
The Arsenal.
Yeah, the Arsenal. Barely anything's ever said.
I mean, it's like a wasteland out there, and if they are talking, it's nothing but glowing praise.
Exactly. So we thought we'd step into that breach and fulfil a much needed need of Arsenal-related content. But I think first we should sort of place ourselves in where are we in the Arsenal support?
Who are we?
Who are we, exactly? Now, I would say we are veterans of Wembley 87 and 88.
Oh.
Anfield 89, one of us was there. I was like 9 million other people that could have had a ticket but didn't take it up because I was 10 and my dad didn't think they'd do it. That was his reasoning. But Rich, you were there, weren't you?
I still must think about it once a fortnight. Fortnight, and I believe to this day it's a hazy memory, but I still think I can see myself in the melee. That's what I tell myself. That's what I tell myself.
You've pointed yourself out a few times, actually. I think it is someone that looks like you at the very least. So
yes.
So that's good.
Yes.
But that wasn't the last game we attended. We go all the time. You know what it's like. But anyway, what we're doing is talking about the Arsenal. And I don't want this, despite the fact that we've started this in the 80s, I don't want this to be necessarily proper football man chat. You know, I like data. I like XG.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I like playing it out from the back. I think it's great.
Yeah, that is woke nonsense, Mark. Woke nonsense, and Mr. Dyche will not have it.
I love playing out from the back. I think it's great. And do you know what else I think? I think modern football's brilliant, and I cannot believe how high the standards are these days. The skill, the speed, the pace, the athleticism. I think everything is great. So I know a lot of people around our age like to think it was better back in the day. And
have you watched? Have you gone back and watched? I mean, don't get me wrong. The team of our lifetime, the Invincibles. If you watch a lot of the football, yes, we had players like Thierry Henry and Patrick Vieira and Petit. But if you watch a lot of the games, it was quite agricultural.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the clips I see are of Thierry Henry, and my overriding feeling was that I just didn't appreciate how good he was at the time. I thought he was fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
But looking back and see those clips, I think there was a game against Sparta Prague where he came on. I think he might have broken the scoring record doing it, and he basically controlled it with his calf. And it bounced in front of him, and he just outside booted it into the corner. And
players like that don't exist. I know we're saying football's very different now. The way modern football is, players like that don't exist because it doesn't fit into the structure of the modern game. Because I think individuality is very different. It's all about team set. You can't, I mean, at the very, very, very top of the game, you're talking Champions League semi-finals, top 4 in the Premier League. You cannot make a mistake. You cannot. And this is why Arteta's gone, do you know what? Fuck it. You don't want mistakes? We won't make any. And everybody hates it.
Yeah, they do. I'm here for it. I think Arteta is actually much more in keeping with the values of Arsenal that I grew up with. You know, my grandparents supported Arsenal as well, and you know, tell you about the teams of and lucky Arsenal, boring Arsenal comes from that period when they won the league like 5 or 6 times over the decade by playing a very defensive, counter-attacking style of football that Herbert Chapman invented. You know, you'd sit back, you'd soak up all the pressure, you'd hit on the counter, win 1-0, and because you hadn't had loads of possession, they'd been lucky. So the Arsene Wenger years, as great as they were, especially the earlier things, are an aberration in our culture.
An outlier.
In our cultural history. And I'm glad that Arteta's bringing back this snarling steamroller that, you know, is much more in keeping with Arsenal teams of the past.
Everyone used to go, Arsenal have got a soft underbelly. They don't like it up. And you can the famous thing when you had Pulis and managers like that, and the commentators and pundits used to call it getting in their faces. It wasn't the faces we were worried about. It was the shins and the broken ankles we were more worried about than the faces. Yeah. And now all of a sudden, we're the bullies on the block. It's not the right way to do things.
Well, Set Piece FC, I mean, I could not give 2 fucks about how we... And in fact, I like corners and set pieces and throws. And again, I'd never had a problem with Stokes' throw-ins.
You got to stop it.
Right, you've got to stop. It was I thought the lap, and not even the effect on just Arsenal, but other teams who would rather give. I think it might have been Paul Robinson or one of the goalies had the ball, and rather give away a throw, he kicked it out for a corner. Something, a weapon so potent that it changes the way that people play. I've got no qualms with that. My main problem was the fact that Arsenal didn't seem to value it, so wouldn't prepare for it. Yeah. My big problem, as you rightly point out with Stoke and Birmingham and is snapping our players' legs in half, which, over the line, if you ask me.
Yes. So what I want to take and what I would like to do to start this, because I think it's a good barometer after games. It's a little temperature check. How are you feeling? Where are you on the 0 for freezing, 100 we're boiling? What are your feelings about where we are?
I'm high 90s. I am high 90s. But I should calibrate this. Over the last 3 years, I've thought we would win the league, and we didn't. So I am an optimist when it comes to them. I always see the upside. I always think they can do it, which is... I think I'm a child of George Graham. He instilled everything that I believe into me, I think. And one of those things is a childlike belief that we can do it no matter what the circumstances. I think that's Anfield 89 has left that on me, that no matter how difficult the odds, no matter how late in the game it can be, we can still do it. And I still believe that. that. And it helps, of course, when you're 4 points clear at the top of the league.
Yeah.
Barely conceding a shot.
Yeah, I was brought up on the famous back five, but they forget the Campbell, Toure, Cole and Lauren back four and how good that was. Yeah. I mean, that was something that people do overlook, and they were absolutely incredible. My favourite thing, Kolo Toure, 200 grand from ASIC Mimosas is one of my favourite. 200 grand. I'm slightly, I'd say I'm at 85 degrees at the moment. The fact that we are so dominant, my only thing is we're 9 games in, it's the injury thing. If it was all on a level playing field, I'd say now, are there going to be twists and turns? Probably. We're going to lose games we might lose games that we don't expect to, but I still believe the way we're playing currently and with the squad we are better than anyone else in.
Yeah, I think that as well. I think one of the few criticisms I would have had of Arteta over his time, he's got some serious trust issues. Now, I remember when he was a player, I went to watch Arsenal Bayern Munich, one of the 50 times we played them, And you may say that this is a perfectly sensible thing, but Cole Jenkinson was playing right back. Now, Arteta would not pass it to him. He would not pass it to him. If he was under, 2 players, and Jenkinson was in acres of space, even I could have got the ball and at least larricked it down the pit. Arteta would not give it to him.
I don't trust you. You don't exist.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is, as a player, he... obviously had that, and I think he's brought that through to his managerial style as well, which has, I think, the injuries that we had last year are as a result of that. Once you have gone out of the circle of trust with him, you might as well be in Siberia. And there's some of those players, like Sterling, for example, didn't do anything when he came, and I can see why he didn't want to rely on him. Players like Zinchenko, Ramsdale, Smith Rowe as well. Yeah. Smith Rowe, we were beating Sheffield United 5-0 or 6-0 a couple of years ago, and Smith Rowe was on the bench and he did not get on. Now, the writing was on the wall there, and maybe he was trying to teach him a lesson, but that lesson came at the expense of the minutes in the legs of the players that you actually want. And I'm hoping, and in fact, the Leeds game this year, when he brought on Dowman, he made loads of changes, with half an hour to go. That was the first time I thought to myself, has he finally cracked the squad conundrum where he has... And maybe it's about trust. He's got a squad that not only he's got the players there, but he also trusts them, but he needs to keep that trust. And also throw on players that he doesn't trust when the game has won.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but the thing with... I think Arteta, one thing I've noticed about him year in, year out, he will learn mistakes. He will learn from those mistakes. Every single year, he's learned. I think the Man City Rob Holding game when we got shellacked really taught him about having a squad that's up to it and how you play those games. And we've evolved our playing style year on year, and looking at it, I believe that's to cope for the deficiencies of the season before. Now, whether you're a fan of that style, that's horses for courses. Clearly, it's working. But I still say, people say, oh yeah, we're 15th in the league from open play goals at the moment currently. Yeah, but what people, because they talk about our squad, we're missing our captain, who is basically the fulcrum in the middle of that pitch. We've got a left-hand side where if things were different, would Eze be playing a little bit further over to the left? Would he be compensating for that position? You've got Saka there. Saka's having to play 90 minutes most games at the moment because Dalman is looking like the brightest prospect in football, but he's 15 years old, and you have to remember that. And I think Nwaneri is tagged with that more central role, which he can't play at the moment because he's going to be coming into that because Eze's there. Madueke would be taking minutes off of Saka from, say, 65, 70 minutes. He'd be coming on, taking those minutes out of Saka's legs. We're missing a few players, but people aren't really seeing that. And I think, especially with Havertz coming back, I saw a thing yesterday where they said, I mean, everyone, obviously we talk about the Gyökeres, he's a bit polarising at the moment because what people want from a striker and what he's giving. He's played 90 minutes virtually every game, and 2 international games, full 90 minutes for Sweden. He's dead on his feet.
Yeah.
He's dead on his feet.
Well, you mentioned the reliance on set piece comes from the injury situation, which I guess it is a fair comment, but I think it's also a reaction to the way teams play against us now. Because I think when we first got good, I think the old style of we can have a go here was still prevalent, and people got smacked about a bit because the system and the way that Arteta wanted to play had finally got through to a team. I'm not going to say a squad, like a team of 11 or 12 of them who really got it. Zinchenko came in, could play that inverted role. Jesus up front had that little purple patch at the beginning, and suddenly the things that worked no longer worked. And it took a little while for other teams to react to that. But now they have reacted to it. It is get as many players back as you can. Yeah. Right, and you look at Palace on the Saturday. I think at one point when they didn't have the ball, they had a back six that was protected by 2 in front of them, and even like Mateta and whoever the other forward was were sort of deeper than the centre circle in their half. And so what Arteta has done, and as if set piece goals don't count. And I understand that you're worried that if it dries up, then you haven't got the open play avenue to explore. But one of the great things that Arteta and the club has done is made set piece such a weapon, because a little while ago, I think I've heard a number of players talk about the difference that they used to view corners versus how fans view them. Yeah. So if when you're over there, it goes out for a corner, the whole stadium goes, corner, everyone gets up and people trot up from the back. And it's quite an exciting part of the game because the ball can be launched into the box and you might score. But professionals never used to see it like that. It was like, why are fans get this? Just a corner, we'll let it away. And
the ratio of goals scored from corners to corners actually won,
very low.
It was heavily slanted,
Yeah, very low. And in fact, when the Invincibles were at their pomp, I used to like conceding corners because I thought we might score from this.
Get on the break.
Yeah.
Quick throw out, get Henry on his bike.
Yeah, off you go. Square it, Vieira, in the net, tell him White Hart Lane, shut the fuck up. Get that came from a corner. Right? And that was the old school. But when Dave Brailsford took over at Sky Cycling, he had the thing marginal gains, which was looking at the way that cycling had been done for years and years and years and saying why. And I think concentration on set piece is a version of that where people say, well, why? It's a great opportunity to score a goal. And
if you have the players there, I mean, look at our side now is massive.
Yeah.
It's absolutely massive. They're intelligent. They're not just big, they're mobile. Use it. There was a great picture of Big Gabby the other day. It was like the Maradona one. When he picks the ball up and there's 5 players in front of him, he's queuing up on the edge of the box and there are 4 players shitting themselves about. I mean, you still can't stop him.
No, I actually think I know he let in that goal against Newcastle the other week and didn't cover himself in glory, but I do actually think that in a fair contest where like jumping for the same ball in the same area, he's more or less unbeatable. You cannot get there in front of him.
He's quickly become one of my favourite players in this team.
Yeah, last season when he scored the from the corner at Man City when Carl Walker was touching him, do you remember? He was like trying to put him up, and as soon as he made a little move and he was gone. It's
just so intelligent. But that comes down to the coaching and this talk about. I mean, we will get onto the games and everything like that, but this talk about us being this anti-football team is the way we play is dictated by the way the opposition is set up. Because did you know back four plays the highest line in the league? Because everybody sits so deep. There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
They get everyone behind the ball.
I think Saliba had the third most touches of any player, or maybe any Arsenal player on Saturday, and he went off at half time.
Well, that tells you just that says it. So for me, with the modern punditry, I try not to listen to it. I know what they're doing. Sky Sports have become Talk Sport. It's all about clicks. It's all about engagement. You've got, how can I put this in a nice way? The two stalwarts.
In a nice way.
No, you've got the two stalwarts, Neville and Carragher, who, let's be honest, have no real love for us. They played for Liverpool and Man U. They're Northwest-based, Sky's basically Northwest Mafia, as is the referee in fraternity. And we've got to deal with it. We just got to carry on doing what we're doing, cut the noise out, and keep winning games. That's all we've got to do.
Yeah,
and they tell you
anything for engagement and likes and clicks, I can tell you that.
No, definitely not. Definitely like and subscribe.
So we've skirted around it a little bit. Saturday.
Yes.
Palace. I was a little bit worried about this game, actually.
Yeah, I was too.
Maybe it's because I'm worried about every game at the moment. Not because of the way that we're playing, and even during the game I was terrified as I normally am, but not because of the pattern of the game. More a sense of just what football can do to you sometimes, where you can, all your rivals have lost, your opposition haven't had a shot the whole game, and yet you still come away with just 1 point rather than 3.
Yeah.
So, and that was the backdrop for my own nervousness.
Plus, I really rate Glasner as a manager. I think he's such an intelligent manager. The way they played was more than just parking the bus. They were setting traps. The two midfielders in front of the defence were setting such good traps for Am. And okay, we weren't playing at 100%, but that's a game for me. Even though Eze scored, I'd have preferred him on the left. That's a game for me where I'd have loved an Odegaard just to be in that. They were making us make passes and jumping on them. Although we weren't making mistakes, they were setting the trap and springing it. And he's such a good manager, and that was worrying me. They break like lightning. Their forwards are big and powerful, but one ball can change that, as we saw with Erling Haaland, blooming Thanos earlier on in the season. One ball, that's all you need. Yeah.
No, you're right. And the fact that Mateta had scored a hat-trick in the he missed an absolute sitter to make it 4-3 as well, so it's not totally infallible. But it says a lot about the strength of the Premier League in general, that I would say that every team has got at least one or two players that you think, I'd quite like them in our team. Yeah. As good as we are in our squad.
Totally.
Take a Mateta, maybe one of the defenders. What do you think of the criticism that it's all a bit boring at the moment?
I'm not worried. I think it's a gear or two to go moving forward. I think once they're back and you can, like in the league game, we've got the cup game coming up against Brighton. I could not give a flying fuck about the League Cup.
I want to win the quad. I want to win all 4.
What? Right. But my problem, you've got to look at, you've got a 2-legged semi-final in January, just when the Champions League ramps up. And for a British team to win the Champions League is so much harder than any other league. Because PSG, okay, they were far and away the best team in Europe last season. Who do they play every week? How many hard games do they have every week? Bayern Munich go round, slap everyone up week in, week out, apart from when they play Red Bull. So the rest of the league's walking. Burnley this weekend, everyone's going, it's not going to be easy to go there. Every game is tough in our league, and we aren't as fresh.
No.
It's so much closer in the Premier League, which is why games like Palace, they won the FA Cup last season. And look where they are this season after losing Eze. I mean, they've lost.
They went to Bayern.
Elise went to Bayern. I mean, they were the heartbeat of that team, and they are still more than competitive. And that just shows what a good team they are and what a great manager he is. I really do rate him.
Yeah, I rate him as well. And every time someone gets sacked at Man U, you think, God, I hope they don't fluke their way into a good one.
Well, they've won 3 on the bounce at the moment, so
that guy's hair is danger.
It was a performance we needed. Those are the games where in previous seasons we could have slipped up. But when I say slip up, a draw at the moment would feel devastating when you're top of the league and you're just putting a bit of distance between you and your rivals. And when they're not firing, we just need to keep picking up these points. Looking at, I mean, Rice had to come off and brought Marino on. When Saliba went off, you go, shit, Mosquera's playing. He's that good.
Yeah.
He's that good.
Unbelievable.
My signing of the summer. Yeah, my signing of the summer.
Value for money. I'm sure they didn't expect him to fit in like this.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, he made the mistake at Newcastle and he took him off at half time. But I find that quite unusual for Arteta because he's asked his defenders to play in a certain way. And like, if you take what he says at face value, he accepts that mistakes are part of that. We are going to give away a goal this year from playing out from the back. Right,
that's nature of the beast.
Risk and the reward ratio of doing it, but it won't happen. Like if you're doing it every week, you think why are you doing it? But you're not. It happens once a season, and that's a risk that you just have to take. So when he hoofed it off for a corner and they scored from it, I wonder why he took him off. Do you think there was another incident when he came over to the sideline and because I think he wanted to boot it out for a throw the first time and then he changed his mind and then he sliced it off and then the next time he came across he did clear it like agricultural style into the stand and I wonder whether Arteta is less forgiving about your reaction to your mistake. So I think he wants the mentality to be if you make a mistake, right, you need to get over it.
Just get on with it
immediately and play the same way the next time as well. I don't know. I mean, I'm just guessing. So. Maybe he just thought Saliba would we just could only 1-0 down at half time. We could not concede another goal. So maybe that's why he brought him on. No. But then he came on again, and as you say, there's not even a change in the way they play. I think when Holding came on, or had to play for the Man City game away, basically De Bruyne played in the gap between our midfield and the defence because they had to drop an extra couple of metres, and it don't take much in the Premier League for those distances to matter. But he came in, and I've got worries or qualms about him. He's a good sub as well, which helps. You know, you don't want
you
people
can take minutes out the legs of defending.
But you say he's been the signing of the summer. My signing of the summer is Zubimendi.
It was very close between the two. He's been absolutely transformational in. I mean,
he weren't cheap. In the scheme, well, maybe he's like Rice.
Wasn't he?
It's a lot of money, right? And it's the sort of transfer that you need to work. Otherwise, you're in a bit of bother. Whereas 12 million, you can always, flog him for 8, and what you lost. You're playing.
No. This is Arsenal. He goes on loan for 3 years, and then it goes halfway on a free. Yeah, we cut his contract. There's no £8 million here, my son.
That's true. We'll probably end up selling Rice for 8 million. But yeah, he's not cheap in the sense that it's a struggle to move on from a player of that.
No. It's a very low risk move.
But I have to say, I thought he was a little bit sloppy on Saturday, and I don't know whether that is the trying to get up to the intensity of 2 Premier League games sandwiched with a. Because he had to come on as well in the previous game. Yeah. Maybe he was feeling it a bit anyway. And he played against Atletico Madrid. I thought he had a great game. I wouldn't say he played badly, but he was just a little bit untidy, a little bit sloppy. And so I think he's going to have to play one of the centre midfielders against Brighton, but I don't think it should be him.
We should play Norgard and Marino, but then I'd stick Marino up front. I don't care if we lose this game. I really don't. Get out there. You get $100 grand for it. when the semi-finals come, it's when that part of the season.
Yeah, well, that is if you're Arteta. I'm a supporter, and therefore I want them to win absolutely every game and every trophy. And also there's a bloke lives around the corner from me. He's a Brighton fan, and he's got me in his sights.
But no, I think it was a very professional performance. Again, what was their XG? 0.3.
Yeah, and they conceded a shot on target, according to the...
Have you seen it?
I have seen it. It was Eddie Nketiah not heading it, as far as I could see.
As far as I'm concerned, Raya got to that ball before him. So how that's a shot, I'm baffled.
Yeah, we haven't conceded a shot on target for 3 Premier League games. I don't think we conceded one against Atletico Madrid. Raya did make a save, but I think that was going wide.
Yeah, that you building from that solid defensive base gives you so much to do. I mean, that again, everyone says we're so negative. Well, no one else slaps Atletico Madrid by 4. They stuck 5 past Real Madrid a couple of weeks before that.
I don't think we are negative. We played the whole game thereof, didn't we? Who's negative? Us, the team with the highest black line in the league because we've always got the ball, or the team with 11 players in the box? Look, I'm not criticising negative football. Look, you've got to do what you can to win. It's
a results business.
I'm not a purist in any sense. And of course, if Atletico Madrid come and have a go and get slapped 4-0, if you're a manager, you're not going to say, do you know what, we're going to do exactly the same as that.
Yeah, we'll go toe-to-toe with them.
So I get why it's being done. I don't think we're negative. One point I do have some sympathy with is that Arteta seems to be much more comfortable risky passes in our own box than in their box. Yeah. He's happy for the goalie to knock it about and give it to Rice when he's got 2 players on him. But I would like to see a bit of that daring
going forwards.
I guess it's the reason that I'm not a tactics expert by any means, but I suppose if you create a structure that if you give it away and they break.
Because we are so high. We strangle teams, we suffocate teams, we give them no room whatsoever. We play the entire game in basically half the pitch where we can. If you're going to sit back, we're going to take every inch and advance to make it so uncomfortable for you.
Yeah,
that even that isn't really a tactic that's going to work. My personal feeling is get a few players back, get Madueke, who can really make a difference with his directness, which I've loved of him. He picks a ball up. You know what he's going to do, but can you stop it? Because he will just run at defenders, which is a dynamic we haven't really had. I mean, Saka is world class, but he gives you that other dimension where it's a change. And when you've got a defender that's probably needs counselling after marking Saka for 70 minutes, and then you bring on a whippet that's going to run you ragged, I wouldn't like to be.
And that sort of directness and playing the game in their half brings the set piece thing back into focus, because fouling is a part of the game. And it's a tactic, right? If it looks dangerous, foul them. That's basically the tactic. I think the game itself is far too lenient about deliberate fouls and tactical fouls.
I mean, look at how many games, in the first 5 minutes, someone will leave one on Saka. Well, it's the first 5 minutes, and it'll be a heavy one, and it'll be, it's the first 5 minutes. So it could be a yellow card, but because of the period of the game, it won't be given. Then it's rotational. Then that player will do 3 or 4 more, or if it's Saka, 6 or 7, and then he'll get his yellow card. And what will happen? They'll rotate it. Someone else will take over.
Yeah.
And that's how it works. And then they'll bring on a sub for that left back who can then cycle starts again. It is part of the game.
And so becoming good at free kicks from wide area, like Declan Rice's delivery is Beckham-like. But there's so much more to his game that you don't even think about his delivery. That delivery is so dangerous. And that's what you see the commentary around, I think it was Pino who fouled Saka in the and they say, it was a stupid foul. Stupid foul. It wasn't a stupid foul. It's the sort of foul that he always gets. He gets the ball, he drives one way or the other. The player is beaten and he's
leaves the leg out.
He's drummed into him. You're beaten, foul him. right?
Yeah.
You can see that. It's a deliberate foul. They can't help it. You can't tell them to foul every week, and then as soon as someone beats them, say, oh, it's a silly foul. It's just...
Yeah.
So being good when that is the case is like, why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you do that? So that's why I sort of push back against the...
Well, it's very interesting today. I'm not sure. I mean, I know we don't... I've been delving back into social media because listeners, myself and Mark, we tend to stay away from certain media platforms, shall we say? But I think if we're doing an Arsenal podcast, I need to put my wellies on and get back into that murky world and do that. But it's very interesting today that some of the Arsenal accounts have been doing the Lord's work. They've been dragging up videos of, say, out the Sky incumbents and newspaper articles saying about how much of a weapon set pieces were for Liverpool. You know, this is going back 4, 5, 6 years, and you know how important it is. And it is. If you've got something that a team or that all the league struggles against, use it. I don't care.
Also have scored 65 goals. Do you want us to stop doing that? Well, yeah, they do want us to stop. They do want us to stop. Right, we've kind of danced around this a little bit. So we've got a guy up front, Gyökeres. What do you think?
I think he is a £53 million striker. That's what it gets you these days. Coming from Portugal is very, very different because, again, as I've said, it's a much weaker league. I can see the pros and cons in him. The one thing I thought he was going to be, he's quicker than he is, but then he's played a lot of minutes. So let's see when he can rotate with Havertz. I think, and this is not a defence of, I know he's not scoring goals. He has given us something that we haven't had the last couple of years with Havertz, where Havertz, to his credit, loves to drop deep, but it leaves additional defenders to double up on our wingers, where Gyökeres is a menace. Whether he's quick or slow, he's always running. He's always probing. The centre halves need to occupy him and can't feed out wide, which gives us more options from the wings. However, my jury is still out if he's our striker in, say, 2 seasons' time.
Yeah, I agree with that. What thing that Havertz frustrated me with last year was missing some fucking easy chances. I think it was a header against Man U that came like from 2 yards, came off his shoulder and went wide.
Yeah, I remember the one.
He did miss a head, but I'm just thinking about if Gyökeres has missed chances presented to it. I mean, he obviously hasn't scored every week and he has missed, but most of those he's kind of made himself. I think there was one in the Champions League where he went through and he was on his left foot, went quite wide. I mean, I think he's suffering mainly from the fact that the Premier League is orders of magnitude harder than the Portuguese league.
Yeah, of course it is.
But also, we've only ever seen his highlights. You know, you go onto any YouTube channel, I want to see...
European techno makes anyone look world class, doesn't it?
I always want to see a compilation of all his worst moments. And no one puts those together. But he's suffering from the fact that technically he's nowhere near as good as his teammates. Now, that may or may not be his job in the team to be as guilty as that. I mean, Havertz is miles better at football than he is. But as you say, he's pushing their centre-halves back.
Occupying that central space, which opens space up everywhere else.
I am sympathetic to that. And I have noticed that Saka has had one-on-ones against fullbacks much more frequently than he has. And Saka can go either way now. He can go inside. I know he prefers to go inside, but he will go outside and dink a little right-footed cross as well. So that does help.
But look at Martinelli and Trossard. I mean, they've had good starts to the season because they're not doubled up. Because and it's not a slight against Havertz. It's the way he plays. Listen, he's told to play that way because if you don't play the way Arteta tells you to play, you're not on the fucking pitch. It's the way it's designed around him. I prefer us with a striker that's playing on the back line.
Yeah.
Whether there's a dearth of striking talent in the world, it goes in cycles. 1 minute you can't find a number 10, next minute you can't find a number 9, then where's all the left wingers in the world? It goes in cycles. We are in a fallow period for centre forwards. And for the money, if we can get us 12 league goals, we win the league and the goals are spread out as they are at the moment, I'm not going to be crying him up.
No, it's true. And the goals that he scored against Atletico Madrid, I know one was a bit scruffy and he celebrated it like he knew it didn't count.
He scored with his cock, Mark. He scored with his cock.
With his knob from an inch. I think that he's the only player in our squad that would have scored those goals.
A goal is a goal. He doesn't care how it comes. Oh, yeah.
I think he scores the type of goals that no one else in our squad will score. Obviously, technically, having a shot that deflects in from 3 yards and then knobbing one in from an inch. Not technically the hardest goals, but I don't think Havertz shoots with 3 players in front of him. I don't think Havertz puts himself on the line just in case something happens. And it's that is what he's doing really well. And it's just unfortunate that I guess the space is compressed. I think
he's played a lot of minutes.
He's played a lot of minutes, no pre-season. And maybe this is as well a function of like the social media age where a new signing comes in and it has to work like on minute 1.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely no time to settle in whatsoever. Yeah. Like, I would love to have seen what the views of Pires was. I know Bergkamp got absolutely slaughtered when he came because he didn't score for 10 games or whatever it was, even though he was playing quite well. But so the
Pires needed an entire season.
Yeah, he did. He did take a little while to get up to, and he was replacing Overmars as well, like done really well. So it's not plain sailing. Like you're moving country, you're moving like a whole different way of life, new team. He puts the effort in, and that gives you a lot of leeway. If he had that style of like lolloping about the pitch, Ozil, Berbatov, even Havertz to some degree has got. He works hard, but
he's making his runs constant.
Yeah. Yeah, and they are starting to like put him through, but I don't think he's a slow footballer, but he's not quick with the ball.
No. I don't see. He never runs away from a different.
No, there was something against Palace where I think he had like Haaland probably would have run straight through the middle.
Yeah,
and he just didn't have the legs to.
I mean, I'm going to say again. Let's see when you've got Havertz back, they can rotate. He won't start every game. Was he even brought in to be our main striker? Was it supposed to be a tandem thing where they share the minutes? Let's see.
You can see a very clear use case for them doubling because they're so different as well.
Yeah, horses for courses.
What you lose with Havertz is that if you do want to go long and relieve a bit of pressure, he can win the. Like Havertz is blinding in the air. He's really good at that. And Gyökeres, it's not criticism that you're not as tall as Havertz, but he is. Yeah, let's see. And as you say, if he's up there making run after run and not getting found, and we win the league by 25 points, then who gives a fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
So Brighton this week.
Yes.
And for all my bluster about I would like to win this, I would have liked to win this Arsene Wenger style, completely different team. I think we're going to see more players than you want in that starting 11.
Well, I mean, I imagine you'll see Kepa because that's what he's brought in for. Hopefully, we'd see Ben White. I'm very interested to see more of Ben White. I think the stories that are coming out of playing 18 months with injuries can take a huge toll on a person's body. I just hope he gets back to if he can get back close to where it was before. We've got, quite frankly, the best right back pair in the league, if not Europe.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see, obviously, Mosquera. He could go Hincapié centre half. He could go Miles Lewis Skelly left back. I mean, I
think he will go Miles Lewis Skelly left back. He's come off the last couple of games, but I think Gabriel he would not mind playing him.
Oh, he will.
I don't think he will. It's just too much of a risk, surely.
The midfield's a tricky one.
But is it Hincapié a left-sided centre half, or because
he can play both? Apparently, he's played left centre half, and left back. I mean,
he came on at left back at the weekend as well. Yeah. So it wasn't like he was getting a few minutes to.
And one thing about him, from the clips I've seen, he doesn't fuck about.
He looks quite solid as well, doesn't he? Like
his game is see ball, get.
Okay, looking forward to seeing that. Skelly's been on the periphery of things this year, but then got the start against Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
And I actually thought he looked a bit rusty. And would you like to guess when I thought to myself, I think he should come off?
Just as he picked the ball up in the centre of the pitch?
No, just after that was when he sort of shaped to go backwards, and my panic stations in my irrational supporter brain kicked off. I thought, oh my God, he's going to lose it. They're going to score. It's going to be 1-1. I can't believe he didn't say, what a run that is. What a goal that is. That was basically my thought process. And, he just not in front of the chaos merchant that Calafiori is at the moment. Which, but and as well, he's only young, right? He don't have to play every week, and he played
a lot of minutes last season. He played a lot of minutes.
Yeah, miles ahead of where he goes. So that's a back 4 and 5 that I would get him on board with. I assume Norgard and I was going to say Marino will play. I'm almost certain he will play. Where is
that's the question?
Is the question, because I think you need to sit Gyökeres out. He looked very tired at the end of the Palace game as well. I think he went to shut someone down and he was running like I do.
Yeah. It's a difficult one because that central, you could change it.
You assume you're going to play the same sort of way. So you've got Rice and Zubimendi probably not going to play. They both had time on the bench or coming off recently. Yeah. So you put Norgard. The obvious thing to do is go Norgard, Marino, and then so they took Nwaneri.
And I play Nwaneri on the right. I would.
It's in the 10. Like that.
Eze. I play Eze.
Yeah.
I play Eze. He's still finding his feet. I think he's been fantastic already. I think he's improving all the time. I think ideally, I know Nwaneri has been earmarked for that central role, but needs must. If Madueke was fit, then we know what would happen. But I think play Eze in that. I would play Martinelli up top with Trossard left, but Arteta normally goes the other way. He normally goes Martinelli left with Trossard up front. So you could play that team. Just keep minutes out of this team. We've got a big game at the weekend. We are the early kickoff. We can put. Oh no! Sorry, when I say the early, we're 3:00 kickoff.
All right.
But the Man City are 5:30 and Liverpool are 8:00. So we can put the points on the board and let them chase.
I'm happy. I like that scenario a lot. So we call that episode 1?
Episode 1.
Yeah, good. So I'll get some social media up and running. Yap, we're the Yappers. Yet another podcast at gmail.com. Doesn't even exist yet. That's how new it is.
I think I got a text in the week and you said, do you want to start an Arsenal podcast? Yeah, go on in.
I might even release it today.
Yeah.
It's got to be before the Brighton game. Otherwise it'd be fucking ridiculous, wouldn't it? Anyway, get in touch. Let us know what you think. Do all the liking and subscribing and all the engagement shit. And we will. What should we do? Come back after the Burnley game?
Come back after the Burnley game, yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, I'll see you after the Burnley game.
See you then. Bye.